Okay, so I'm sorry if you can hear the fan is going all the time. So let's just hope that you actually can hear me. So while this one works, it has a is going to be left in for 10 minutes. I'm going to answer some questions, and why don't we first show you what I use. That's in the shower. So this is a shampoo and conditioner that I use. It's the Derma Organic, so it's an organic one that is free of sulfates and obviously free for other things as well. And then for body lotion, I'm using kind of everything that I can find. These are like special shampoos that I don't fully love yet, but they are fine. This is for the downstairs area. This is the face cleanser that I use, and this is the hair mask that I'm currently using. And this is basically for my shaving. I use a conditioner for shaving because I feel like that is much better for me. So now that is out of the way, we have a few minutes left. I didn't watch that about, but yeah. So let's just talk about some few questions. What products do you recommend? So I will say that I don't usually recommend any products if I haven't seen or felt the hair. Just because I used to work as a hairdresser. Now I'm not, but basically what I want to say for choosing products is what do your hair needs. Is it colored? Do you bleach it or do you not do anything about it? Because it really depends, and it also depends on the texture of your hair. So, and also it really depends on how your hair is basically, let's call it doing. So I use for curls because I have, now I have brushed it so you can't see that very well, but I have curls, if not now, but and my hair is really heavy, so I don't have that many curls right now. But once I cut it, I will have really curly hair. And the thing with this shampoo and conditioner is that it gives some hydration, but it doesn't give too much, because for me, if my hair gets too much hydration, like a hydration shampoo, I know my hair will become fat. And that is also if I use silicones. I shampoo with a silicone, I will get fat hair like when it's dry. Once it's dry, it's fat, so yeah. How do you go days without washing your hair? So, like ponytails or buns are a lifesaver. Dry shampoo if you need to have it down, or braids. And also, not touch your hair too much, like the roots, because that stimulates fat, and you have fat on your hands, so yeah. Do you apply dry shampoo? If it's not washing day, like here, washing day, I need to do something, like where I want to not have my hair in a ponytail, I will use dry shampoo. And yeah, I usually use one with a brown coat and not white. Let's call it those that are white. I use the ones that are brown just to match in with my hair, because sometimes my hair don't let go of the white, so my hair looks white. So sometimes I use dry shampoo, very little. Should I wash my hair once or twice? usually twice. But I also say that if you wash your hair maybe every day, and the hair is not fat as you go into the shower, then once, but usually twice. What is your favorite hair mask and how often do you use it? So I change my hair masks all the time. It depends on what my hair needs. And I don't have a set timer for when I use it. I usually use it once my hair feels coarse, and I feel that myself once I have in shampoo. I will definitely feel that I need some hair masks in this. So yeah. How often should you deep condition your hair? So a hair mask, how often really depends on everything. So if you shower every day, probably only once or twice a week, depends on what hair you have. Now if you have just bleached your hair so it's really damaged, then the first few times after you have bleached it, then probably have in some hair, like a hair mask, deep condition, it really depends on what you call it, just so you build up your hair a little. So where was I? How often should you get hair trimmed so it stays healthy looking? That also really depends on the hair, but I want to say at least every 6 months if you have long hair and you don't, if you are the ones that are I don't want to cut it, then try to at least do it every 6 months. However, there are some hairs that get really quickly damaged, then you might need to do it earlier. So basically, if you take a look at your hair or feel it, you will basically feel once you need a hair trimmed, or sometimes you will get these split ends. If you have split ends, cut it, because split ends, there is nothing to do with split ends. How often should you get what to look for in a hair technician? That depends on what you are doing. If you're doing something crazy with your hair, definitely a hair technician with more years, have worked for more years, then that is probably better, because yeah. But if you want it cheaper, then you have apprentices. At least I think you have. In Norway we have apprentices where it gets a little cheaper. However, you also need to remember that they don't know as much as a normal hair technician. How much should I be paying for a haircut? Haircuts here in Norway, haircuts are really expensive, and that really depends on where you live and basically the store, the hair salon. So it's really difficult to say what you should pay, but a hair in Norway is really expensive. I have super curly hair that is very damaged. How can I best start to heal it? I want to say the first thing that you should go to is hairdresser to get a little bit trimmed off. And I'm not saying much. You don't need to have that much trimmed off, but just the ends. But I will also say, if you have super curly hair, you should definitely go to someone who knows how to cut super curly hair. If not, it can be a big mess. So, and then basically, it really depends if you need to repair your hair or if you need to basically hydrate your hair. Those are two different things, because repair will usually have proteins in it, especially if you have a hair mask that is repairing. It usually have proteins in it. You should not use that too much, because your hair will basically get hardened and gets really hydration is better in the long run. How can I wear natural air dried hair that requires minimal work but yet it is going to be looking good? That really depends on the hair too. I feel like that is like one thing that I say all the time. It really depends on the hair, but it really does. It really depends on how the hair is basically looking. Like my hair, it usually once is like wet and I air dry it. If I like kind of air dry it in a braid, I will get more loose curls. But if I let it just air dry normally, it will just scrunch up. But definitely, I will say that one thing that I love doing, that you saw me do in the beginning of this video, is to brush it before I go into the shower. So that's kind of my biggest tip. It's just to, at least if that is what works for your hair, I'm going to say that when you should brush your hair, it depends. It might be a question about that, but yeah. Because let's just say that I cannot brush my hair when it's wet, because when my hair is wet, it just gets tangled. You get out a tangle and it just tangles again, so I cannot do that. So yeah. Now it has been 10 minutes, so basically I'm going to get in the shower and we will talk once I'm out of the shower again and we can answer some more questions. Okay, so you're out of the shower and I have this clip to basically keep it up afterwards. So in short steps, to talk about how I'm doing it, first is shampoo twice, then is a conditioner, and then once the conditioner is working, I usually exfoliate, then I take my photos off, and then afterwards I am shaving usually, and then after shaving I am washing my body from head to toe. And yeah, so I usually start with my face, then take my body, and then the downstairs area. So then once I get out, I use a serum in my hair. Then I am going to go over with a leave-in like conditioner, just a little. And then because my hair is extremely flat, I will go over with a mousse, just to get a little volume, so it doesn't take like, well, once it's a day old, it gets like fatty. So just a little, you don't need much, and then flip, and then just take a little in the roots, scrunch a little, and just there. And since I don't air dry it, I usually just put it up in this for a little while. Just so I don't, drip all over the place. So now while we do some face, I have basically done my body. And while I do my face, we will answer some questions. Some more questions. Okay. Have you always had brown hair, or have you ever worn a different color? So, once I was like 18, I had purple hair, like dark purple, and my sister called me witch because I'm pale, and I basically look like it too. So yeah, and then after a little while I went to bleach it. I bleached it full, so it was like, yeah, blonde for probably like a year or two. And that's also when I got the short hair. How do you feel about older women with longer hair? I I have to say, I don't care how you wear your hair as long as it looks good on you. Some people don't really look that good with long hair. But if you look good with long hair and you are old, you shouldn't care what other people say. So that's kind of my take. If you want long hair and you can have long hair, then be my guest. I'm not going to say it's ugly because I don't think it's ugly on everyone. Some people doesn't look good on, but it usually does. So, how to avoid dryness due to hair color? I find it can be difficult for permanent hair color, but you can also use a demi color, which is not a full-on coverage. But if you have healthy hair, it's going to stick quite good. So, but also, if you go to a hairdresser and say that it's usually gets dry, then they will usually do something about it, you know. And hair masks afterwards that keeps the color. What to do if you have oily roots and dry ends? Welcome to the club. So that's kind of is the thing. If you have oily hair on top and dry on top, you might need maybe 2 different shampoo and conditioners. You don't have to use in the same package, you know. You don't need both to be the same thing. But that's the really good thing. So if you have extremely dry ends, then maybe you need to go over with some repair. Not too much, but yeah. And then if you have oily on top, sometimes, I mean, I react to silicones on top. And then also, I don't use extremely hydrating things on my top. So, you know, hair masks only go in the bottom. So that's kind of how I try to save the oily roots so they don't get more oily. How to tame frizzy hair? So I usually brush it before I go in the shower, just because if I do it afterwards, once it's dry then, it usually gets frizzy. So that can be a little annoying. How to avoid split ends? I will definitely say one of the best things to do is to be really careful with your hair. Cut it often, because if you have split ends, nothing's gonna work. What are the causes of hair fall? A lot of things. Stress, that you don't eat enough, and you don't get enough vitamins and everything. So, but it can be a lot of causes. When does hair grow? It grows all the time. Some people don't notice it that much. Why does hair get greasy? Because in your hair you basically have oils. Like, if not, you would have hair that just stands right out because it would be so dry. Does cutting your hair make it grow back faster? No. But it will look better, and it might look longer, because if it's really, yeah, if it's not good, it's not gonna look long. Does cutting your hair make it stronger? Technically no, but also yes, because The ends might not look that good, and but it doesn't make it stronger, but it will look stronger and healthier. And yeah, does cutting hair make it thicker? No, but it will appear that way. Does blonde hair look less greasy? Sometimes. Once I bleached it, it looked. I mean, I could go like a week without showering my hair, but that is because once you bleach it, you kind of slow down the oil production, and that's why it gets so dry too. Does blonde hair tangle easier? Bleached blonde hair, yes. How do I make my hair grow faster? There's no right answer for this. I mean, if you want to take aloe veras, take them. They won't work because basically if you don't eat enough and don't eat things that you should, then it's not going to grow faster because your body don't think about your hair if you are not healthy. How to stop my hair from breaking? Well, I would say that hair breaking, it comes to properly damaged and you being too hard on your hair. So just try being easier on your hair and basically get it cut if it's too bad. When should I brush my hair? With conditioner, when it's wet, or dry? That depends on the hair. I take dry before the shower. If not, I will pull out my curls and yeah. But sometimes conditioner is best, sometimes wet is the best. It really depends. Is it normal to have shorter strands of hair on the scalp? Yes, because the hair grows from the scalp, meaning that it will always be some short ones somewhere. How does heat affect your natural hair? Well, I always use something on my hair to protect it, so it doesn't affect me that much. I don't use much heat either. Does braiding help your hair grow? Well, technically no, but it will cause less friction if you sleep with it that way. How do you keep your hair long and healthy? Do what's best for your hair. Go and get a haircut, and just overall try and be healthy. How do you get rid of split ends? You cut them. What are the causes of hair breakage? A lot of things. Mostly it's you being too harsh on your hair. Sometimes it can come from like in your family. Some people, the hair don't grow longer than this, and it never will. Is your hair shinier when you rinse it in cold water? Never done it because I hate cold water. Which is better for my hair? A hair oil or hair serum? Depends. I don't have a... Yeah, it's whatever for me. What are the most common hair coloring mistakes? I actually want to say that some people, when they color it themselves, like at home, they forget that when you basically color in the top, not like the top, but if you have colored it once and you're going to color it again, they color the whole thing and then the ends get darker. How can I protect my hair during the summer? I usually use a sun protector in my hair, and yeah, it's usually what I do. Or you can, have something on your head too. Is it essential to have a healthy scalp? Yes. Healthy scalp means healthy hair. If you don't have a healthy scalp, you're not gonna have healthy hair. So that was kind of all the questions that I have written up. So yeah, and yeah, basically I have gotten a lot of tips from like Chloe Yasmin, and I think that's mostly not how I learned because I could already shower, but got some free tips and tricks here and there. But yeah, I hope you liked this video, and I will see you next time for another video.